Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Knott County community said goodbye to a teenager killed in an apparent animal attack.
As the push to legalize medical marijuana continues in the Bluegrass, opponents are worried that it could cause other issues to pass.
And as one Eastern Kentucky hospital prepares to close their doors, another is making plans to offer more services to fill the gap.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Madison Pergro.
Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. In Madison, we had a pretty good weekend.
Pretty weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, warm. It wasn't too chilly. It was kind of warm.
Yeah, almost maybe for those of you who don't mind a little chilly, it might have been good porch sitting weather. But other than that, the weekend was nice, but Brandon, let's bring him in this morning, and we're gearing up for more rain to start this week.
Indeed, and then something you may want to see a little bit later on in the week, Will, some of that blue showing up on Doppler. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, just kind of give you a teaser. Let's see what's going on this morning, and it is a little bit of both, green and blue, but the blue in the higher elevations this morning. Anywhere where it's just a touch colder, you might be seeing a few snowflakes flying, but mostly rain this morning, especially in those valley locations, and some heavier bands of rain out toward Lake Cumberland and I-75. It's creeping in and it's taking our temperatures down with it, already in the low 40s there in parts of the Cumberland Valley and I-75 Lake Cumberland corridors. 36 in Harlan, 39 here in Hazard, 38 in Ashland. Went down to 44 just now in Pikeville there, so we're seeing those temperatures fall off, but it is still warmer than it was this time yesterday morning. In some spots this weekend, it got into the low teens in the morning hours. So again, much warmer. So a normal day and a little extra on the coffee meter just because it's Monday morning and getting started again. It's the last full week of February, if you can believe it. Out the door forecast today, we are going to continue to see warming temperatures, but only at right around 50 today, maybe in the upper 40s for most, because it's not one of those situations where we're going to see a whole lot of warmth today. No sunshine today for sure. I'll have the extended forecast coming up here in a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, family and friends gathered Sunday in Knott County to say goodbye to a 13-year-old boy.
Corey Godsey died in an apparent animal attack on Tuesday in the Emelina community. His funeral was held yesterday in Hindman. While there are still many questions about the circumstances surrounding his death, the owner of Hindman Funeral Services said it is good to see a community continue to show their love and support.
Everybody's kind of worried about this little family that's lost their child. Shouldn't worry. Worry's a lack of faith, but we worry that something like this could happen to ours.
While family is still mourning, they hope this can help others be more careful. And new this morning, Governor Andy Beshear will be making 2 stops in the mountains later today. The governor and his senior advisor, Rocky Adkins, will be in Hazard at 1 p.m. and Jackson at 2:45 p.m. The pair will meet with both city and county leaders at both stops to present grants and to discuss coal severance money. We'll have a full report on the governor's visit to the mountains later today on WYMT. And last week, the Kentucky House of Representatives voted to legalize medical marijuana in the state. That bill now goes to the Senate. Some opponents worry the proposed legislation could lead to criminal abuse or be a gateway to legalizing recreational marijuana. One person in Kentucky disagrees with those statements, saying you never know who it could help.
It's not some horrible thing, and people who use it, especially for medical reasons, they're not horrible people. They're everyday people. They're you and me. They could be your neighbor. They could be your pastor. In my view, it's a fundamental right to have good health, and you should be able to have the option to be able to treat that how you see fit.
The measure won House passage on a 65-30 vote after a long debate Thursday. Governor Beshear has expressed his support for the legalization.
Well, the ousted CEO of Brady Industries is firing back at allegations that he was misusing company funds. Last week, Craig Bouchard filed suit against the company he funded over his removal as CEO and chairman. In a response filed Thursday, Brady officials say there were several red flags concerning Bouchard's use of funds, including personal expenses charged by Bouchard to the company's credit cards. Bouchard denies those claims, saying, quote, "I take great care with the expenses that I incur on behalf of the company, and to my knowledge, I have at all times acted properly and in accordance with company operating agreements, authorities, bylaws, and my employment agreement." Well, King's Daughter Medical Center in Ashland is speeding up their process to help patients. This comes after the announcement that Our Lady of Belafonte will be closing at the end of April. King's Daughters Medical Center has released a statement about their hiring of physicians who had practices within OLBH. They have also set up a phone line for patients to help with scheduling, appointments, transferring medical records, or any other questions. Hospital officials say they are working to open up a new nursing unit and outpatient facility, among other projects. An urgent care facility will also open in Russell.
And despite 2 arrests and nearly 400 tips, a Tennessee baby is still missing this morning. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation tweeted another photo of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell. Angela Boswell, Evelyn's grandmother, and William McLeod are due in court later today after being taken into custody in North Carolina Friday. Evelyn is the focus on a statewide Amber Alert, and she's been missing since December. And 2 men were arrested and charged in relation to a series of car part thefts throughout Powell County. Officials from the Stanton Police Department said Kyler Dunn and Dakota Baker were arrested on Wednesday. Dunn and Baker are accused of stealing catalytic converters around the county and stealing equipment from the band Sons of Liberty. Both face a charge of receiving stolen property, and officials say more charges are expected to be filed. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning.
Still to come, we will take you to Turkey, where an earthquake has caused major damage and killed several people.
The rain chances are back today, and it's just the beginning of a back and forth forecast this week. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.